Sup guys, NBA Thinker back for a new video. And given that the NBA season is almost upon us, I wanted to talk about the top 5 NBA players that will break out next NBA season. At number 5, I have John Collins from the Atlanta Hawks. Now, John Collins already had a solid and pretty amazing rookie season. If we look at his stats here, we can see that he averaged about 10.5 points, 7.3 rebounds, and is at about a 18.33 PER, which is pretty amazing for a rookie. Now, the main reason I believe John Collins will break out this coming NBA season has to do with the new additions to his team in Kevin Huerter and more noticeably Trae Young, who will be able to set him up for easier shots and will be able to open the lane better for him so he can get more points, more rebounds, and ultimately become a much more efficient player than he was his rookie season. So at number 5, I have John Collins. At number 4, I have Dejounte Murray from the San Antonio Spurs. Now again, Dejounte Murray is yet another NBA player who had a solid NBA season last year, boasting a pretty decent stat line with 8.1 points, 5.7 rebounds, 2.9 assists on 44.3% shooting from the field goal and 26.5% shooting from the three-point line. To provide further context, Dejounte Murray accomplished those stats with only 21.5 playing time on the court. That is to say, if he got 30 plus minutes with the Spurs as a starter, which is very reasonable given that Tony Parker left to another team and Manu Ginobili recently announced his retirement. So now we can definitely say that Dejounte Murray has officially taken the leadership role on the San Antonio Spurs team along with DeMar DeRozan, as they will be the two players that will best serve the team and getting them into their eventual goal, which is an NBA champion. And not to mention that playing 30 plus minutes will lead to a higher stat line for Dejounte Murray in points, rebounds, and everything. So at number 4, I have Dejounte Murray. Now this is where things start to get very interesting. And at number 3, I have Markelle Fultz from the Philadelphia 76ers. Now I know the main concern and probably the first thing that comes into people's mind is Markelle Fultz broken jump shot, but honestly this issue has been overblown, as Markelle Fultz was even able to last season show that he sort of fixed his jump shot, not to mention the many new footages that have come out that show Markelle Fultz has pretty much fixed his jump shot and is ready to make leaps and bounds in the NBA. And given the short burst of absolute great basketball that we have seen from Markelle Fultz, is not unreasonable to assume that this NBA season, with solid playing time, Markelle Fultz will be a breakout player. So, to the surprise of many, at number 3, I have Markelle Fultz as a top 5 NBA player that will break out this soon-to-come NBA season. At number 2, I have DeAngelo Russell from the New Jersey Nets as my second player to break out in the 2018-2019 NBA season. Now I know what a lot of you are probably thinking. DeAngelo Russell is going into his 4th NBA season and he hasn't really proven much. DeAngelo Russell will be a cancer for the New Jersey Nets, specifically the locker room, given his shenanigans on the LA Lakers with Jordan Clarkson and what have you. But I believe DeAngelo Russell is absolutely primed to have a breakout year for the 2018-19 NBA season. Some additional reasons why I believe DeAngelo Russell will be a breakout NBA player for the next seasons are: for one, DeAngelo Russell will be much thirstier to prove himself in his 4th year of the NBA. 2, DeAngelo Russell will most likely not deal with injuries in the NBA. Well, that's actually an assumption. And 3, given the last 2 combined, given his thirst to prove himself and given that he probably won't have any injuries this year, he will put up an even better stat line than he did last season, which was solid and many people ignore because they just go on what the social media says and what people say and don't look at the numbers, falling prey to people's false narratives and false notions and ideas about people that are mainly based on emotion, not facts or logical thinking. So at number 2, I have DeAngelo Russell. Just wait for it. He is going to break out. And finally, at number 1, I have no other than the dunk boy wonder, Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine by no means up until this point in his career has had a bad one. In fact, he's had a pretty solid one, almost beginning from his first year with the Timberwolves, But I think this year he is absolutely primed to break out, especially given that in all his NBA years so far, he hasn't made an all-star team, and that is mainly due to him being the third option on a young Timberwolves team with Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. But now the fact that Zach LaVine is pretty much the face of the franchise, the Chicago Bulls, not to mention that his injury, he has pretty much recovered from it. I believe Zach LaVine is ready to make leaps and bounds in his NBA career. And not only do I think he's going to have a breakout season, I think he'll be an all-star. I think he'll lead the Chicago Bulls to, if not a decent, then a good winning record with the Bulls. And I think Zach LaVine will show people, especially those who are sleeping on him, that he is an all-star level talent. So at number 1, I have Zach LaVine for the Chicago Bulls as my most likely NBA player to break out in the next NBA season. And that's it for this video, guys. Stay subscribed for more upcoming new content. Thank you for all of you who have been supporting the channel so far. I really do appreciate every like, every view, every comment, and as always, guys, remember to get your thinking on.